So I'm going to read this fan fiction for Sonic called Sonic the Hedgehog, Defender of America by Americaverse Warlord. Trigger warning. The story you are about to hear contains large amounts of patriotism.
The year is 2004, 15 generations after the beginning of the Americapocalypse. The communist race has invaded and conquered the Americaverse, and all other patriotic star systems in the galaxy. The America people are all but extinct, massacred by the billions of communist soldiers for refusing to bow before the rule of the Dark Sorcerer, Karl Marx. However, not all patriotic...
I'm having problems reading right now.
However, not all patriotic life forms have been wiped out. Some Americans eke out in existence in exile, dreaming that one day when the communist scourge will be eliminated, and the divine children of Washington can yet thrive in the days of old. But until that day comes, courageous Americans congregate together in secret societies, orchestrating the downfall of the Marxist empire, and fighting communists when they can. This is their story.
That destroyed my throat. Sonic the Hedgehog soared through the red sky on his Harley Davidson motorcycle, slaying the fuck out of every communist soldier in his path. He relished every tumultuous movement, letting the endless spray of Marxist blood wash over the impossibly statuesque chest and loins, as he carved their gnarled heads asunder with his axe guitar. Black metal roared from the speakers on Sonic's bike as he unsheathed his serrated katana and used it to deflect the onslaught of bullets fired at him by the unwashed masses, foolish enough to stand in his way. A small chuckle escaped from Sonic's gritted teeth as he threw a cavalcade of knives at his adversaries. He then nodded his head in approval as each blade found its mark between the eyes of a communist sword thane, splitting their heads in two. Sonic leapt majestically from his motorcycle and cast away his arms to fight the communist host with his own cartilage-soaked fists. The hedgehog swaggered forth with utter certainty, his wispy chest hairs fluttering wildly in the wind. He parted the waves of communist blackguards before him, casting these depraved hordes into the netherworld with several well-timed roundhouse kicks. Bloodthirsty communist march wardens snarled and sputtered incoherently from his undeniably patriotic sight. They burgeoned forth, binding Sonic's arms with fetters of wrought iron and naquita. "Fuck you, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. It's time to rock the fuck out," Sonic bellowed with blind patriotic fury, tearing his stylish jerkin asunder and shattering the darbies and chains that bound him with little effort. Sonic furiously played a riffed on his axe guitar, severing the barriers of space and time with his heavy metal melody and summoning divine astral fuck flames from the heavens above to slay the fuck out of his base-born adversaries. However, Sonic's fervent onslaught and furious pelvic thrusting did little to slay these endless armies of communist subhumans. Heavily armed reinforcements poured through the desolate streets of Neo-Detroit, scrambling to confront the warrior of the divine patriotic might. The communist lieutenant, leading his wretched host, haughtily swaggered forth and revealed himself. A sickening laughter erupted from his knurled lips as he flung back in his hood, revealing himself to be none other than Vladimir Lenin. He was an unwashed necromancer entombed in an obsidian corselet that once belonged to the baleful archdemon known as Adolf Hitler. Hitler was fascist, not communist. What are you guys... Communists and fascists hate each other. They hate each other. He stepped into the light to reveal his half-decomposed face, a ghastly visage covered in ceremonial tattoos and ritual scarification that had spelt out ancient curses in languages long forgotten by man. Dotard! Or actually, let me see who's... Okay. Dotard, dost thou not know his death when you'll see it? The time of the Americaverse is past, It is antiquated religion and beliefs extinct. Bow before the heavenly might of communism, or die now and curse in vain, Vladimir Lenin rasped in a cumbrous manner. Seeing that Sonic refused to yield, he drew his flaming sword and lunged at the patriotic warrior before him. I'm not gonna lie, this is just a little badass. You gotta admit. This is like what happens in Doom Guy's fever dreams. The mighty roar of an eagle echoed through the night sky, paralyzing Lenin in his tracks before the fag end of his blade could meet Sonic's throat. The communist horde stood aghast, their eyes fixated on a giant bald eagle encircling this ill-bred host as they were fresh carrion. This feathered beast of patriotic might swooped down, devouring Vladimir Lenin in one bite and skewering many of his Keep in mind, guys, I'm just reading what it says. I don't mean to offend people. I'm just reading what this says. That's another warning. Skewering many of his niggardly warrior followers with his knife-like talons. Atop the majestic creature rode a man swaddled in a black coat that toted dual machine guns, mercilessly unloading the full force of these weapons upon the fallow Marxist soldiers scrambling to flee. Sonic was now thoroughly impressed by this fearless, patriotic show of force, and decided to join in the courageous onslaught. He dropped his blue jeans to reveal his throbbing cyborg member that doubled as a shotgun. His penis doubles as a shotgun. This is where I die, guys. This is where I fucking die. The hedgehog stood unflinchingly alongside his enigmatic ally, strangling his metallic loins tightly and passionately. Sonic cocked his cock and mercilessly bombarded his foes with a face full of buckshot from his artificial gun dick. The hooded figure pulled upon the reins of his faithful eagle steed, commanding his majestic avian hellbeast to spew fire from his beak, which wholly incinerated hundreds of noisome communist fucklings and wrathkin. Sonic lifted up the charred skull of Vladimir Lenin and took a bite out of it to frighten off the pittance of the communist soldiers that survived this fiercely American massacre. Star-spangled energy courses through you, Star-Child. You truly bleed the red, white, and blue blood of an American warrior, the hooded figure praised. He then roared with thunderous laughter, slapped Sonic on the back, and threw back the veil covering his face to properly greet him. Sonic's knees trembled as he stared into the fiery eyes and immaculately chiseled facial features of the legendary American warrior unveiled from underneath the cloak. Overcome with a profound sense of adoration and terror, Sonic fell upon his face before the mighty patriotic demigod of old standing before him. He was Abraham Lincoln, son of Tupac Amaru Shakur Lincoln, grandson of the deity Thomas Jefferson. There are 85 chapters of this. I'm gonna die, guys. I'm gonna die.